showed some bitterness, but this only proved the open-minded nature of the government. Because of these derogatory writings, the expected riots were avoided as a result of even-handedness and sincerity of the government. As we acknowledge with great sadness that mullahs of Islam followed the wrong concept of jihad and preached it to the tribes of frontier so they would spill the blood of honorable officers of friendly government and unjustly hurt it, we are also disappointed with mullahs of Europe, that is, pastors and priests. With their unjust, bitter, and false writings, they agitated the ignorant. By repeatedly bringing up the issue of jihad, they impressed upon the ignorant Muslims that in their faith it is an easy way to paradise. If they were not conspiring in their hearts, they should have compared the jihad of Moses and Joshua with the jihad of our Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. They should have known and kept quiet. Even if we assume that the most important factor in investigating the public are Islamic Maulavis, fairness demands us to acknowledge that at least some part of this instigation were the writings of the priests that offended the Muslims. It is sad that some commit an act and then go away, but create problems for the English government. In my view, a better course of action to resolve these issues is the example of the government of Rome. As a test, all factions should be prohibited from directly or indirectly mentioning the faith of others in their writings and speeches for a few years. They are permitted to recount the virtues of their own religion. This would obviate the cultivation of new plants of hatred. Ancient tales will be forgotten and people will turn to friendship and love. The wild men of frontier areas, upon witnessing this love and friendship among the nations, will follow and be as kind to Christians as one Muslim to another. The second approach is that if Maulavis of Punjab truly oppose this concept of jihad, they should publish journals and translate them into Pashto language and disseminate in the tribes of frontier regions. Without doubt, this would be very effective. For all this, it is important to make a genuine effort with conviction, with no hypocrisy. Advertiser, humble Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, promised Messiah from Qadian. Written May 22, 1900. Addendum to publication Jihad. The real nature of the claim of being Jesus the Messiah and Muhammadi Mahdi, and a request before His Majesty Nawab Viceroy Sahib. Even as I have explained this in many of my books, that my claim of being Jesus the Messiah and Muhammadi Mahdi is not based on the idea that I am in reality Jesus, peace be on him, or Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him. Still, those who have not examined my books more carefully can erroneously perceive that I am talking about reincarnation, as if I have claimed that the souls of both these holy men have appeared within me. This is not correct. In fact, for the latter days, the earlier prophets had foretold that there will be two types of transgressions. First, there will be transgression in the matters of creation, and then there would be transgression in the matters of the Creator. Transgression in the matters of creation would be that under the guise of jihad, human blood will be spilled. By killing an innocent person, one would imagine that such brutality would bring him great divine reward. Many other types of persecution will be practiced in the name of religion. So this is the promised time. In fairness, every God-fearing person has to accept it. Every day, the violent tribes of the frontier regions kill English officers who are guardians of their life and property, and of their Muslim brethren. This is clear brutality and trampling upon the rights of the creation. Do they not recall the time of Sikhs who were ready to kill just for calling out Azan? What is the fault of the English government that its honorable officers are punished in this manner? This government permitted complete religious freedom as soon as it took over Punjab. This is not the time of persecution, when even for whispering the call to prayers one was roughed up. Now you can call out Azan from the top of the minarets. Now you can perform salat in congregation in your mosques and nothing would stop you. In the time of Sikhs, Muslims were akin to slaves. In the English administration, their respect has been restored. Their life, property, and honor are safe. Was it a good deed by the English government or bad when the doors of the Islamic libraries were opened? In the time of Sikhs, graves of Muslim elders were dug up. The Sirhind incident is fresh in memories, but this government guards our graves and our living. We live under the protection of a peaceful and kind government which has never shown any religious prejudice. A Muslim, following his faith, can perform all rituals such as Hajj, Salat, or Zakat. He can make the claim of being from God, reformer of the age, or patriarch, or Messiah, or Mahdi. This just government has nothing to do with it unless one abandons the law of the land and indulges in rebellion. Even in the presence of this kind of dealing and fairness, the Muslims reply by killing the innocent officers who are busy serving the country with justice. If you argue that the culprits are from the frontier regions, what have the Maulvis of this country to do with it? I would respectfully reply that they are guilty, whether you accept it or not. On the one hand, we observe the fervor of being a warrior in the wild frontier tribes. But on the other hand, we do not sense a true sympathy and sensitivity for the English government and its officers among the Maulvis of this country. If they are truly well-wishers of this government, why don't they prepare an edict and circulate it in the frontier regions? This would break the myth of the ignorant that they are warriors and will get paradise upon death. I cannot understand that the Maulvis and their followers have such lofty claims of obedience, and yet they are unable to demonstrate any good deeds. This is not progress. There are other Maulvis of whom we are more critical. May God cleanse their hearts. In short, there is great indiscretion among the Muslims for the rights of the creation. If this is what happens to a benevolent king, what can we expect for others? God has witnessed this brutality in the heavens and has sent a person on the example of Jesus the Messiah and named him the Messiah, as reflection of a face in the water, or mirror, can be metaphorically called that person. The teachings that I am stressing upon, such as love your enemy and have compassion for the creation of God, were stressed upon by another holy person in the past by the name of Jesus the Messiah. The matter with Muslims these days is that instead of loving their enemy, they kill innocent people who have committed no crime but have done only good, with repulsive and unjust religious pretext. For reformation of these people, it was necessary that someone was raised with revelation from God who had the characteristics of the Messiah and brought a message of friendship. Is there not a need for someone in the reflection of Jesus the Messiah in this age? Of course, yes. Presently, there are numerous people among the Muslims who practice killing other nations on the excuse of Jihad. Some of them are unable to be loyal to a benevolent government while living in their administration. They are unable to progress in friendship, nor can they get rid of their hypocritical behavior. Therefore, there was a dire need for the example of the Messiah. So I am that person who has been sent in the example of the Messiah. The other type of transgression that relates to the Creator is the claim of Christians today that has surpassed the highest levels of deception. There is no doubt that Jesus is a holy prophet of God. Without doubt he was beloved of God, holy, light of this world, guidance and honorable before God, and is close to his throne. Millions of men love him and follow his teachings and act upon his guidance. They will be delivered from fire. But it is a serious mistake and apostasy to make him into God. God's beloved are very close to him and have a special relationship. Because of this relationship, if they sometimes call themselves Son of God or claim that God speaks from within them, these are true claims from one standpoint and they have to be explained. It is a time-honored tradition among the knowledgeable to use such terms for those who negate themselves and become one with God and then emerge in a new light. Sometimes it is said that it is not him but God